Apple didn't upgrade their computers, they made an entire industry look outdated overnight. In 2020, they walked away from Intel, the company that powered Macs for 15 years. No backup, no safety net. And within months, laptops were running faster, without fans, with all-day battery. That's not an upgrade. That's a warning shot. But what looks like a sudden move was actually a 10-year plan hiding in plain sight. For nearly 15 years, every Mac you could buy ran on Intel chips. Apple depended on them for performance, updates, and timelines. And that dependence came with limits. If Intel delayed, Apple waited. If Intel improved slowly, Apple couldn't move faster. For a company obsessed with control, that was a problem. So Apple started building its own path. Around 2010, they began designing chips for the iPhone, the A series. Quietly, year after year, those chips kept improving. Faster, more efficient, more optimized. At first, it didn't look like much. But by the late 2010s, something changed. Apple's mobile chips weren't just good for phones anymore. They were becoming incredibly efficient at delivering performance. Not necessarily beating high-end laptop chips in raw power, but delivering serious performance using far less energy. And that's where the shift began. Because real performance isn't just speed. It's how efficiently you get that speed. Then came November 2020. Tim Cook introduced the M1, Apple's first chip designed specifically for the Mac. And instantly, everything felt different. Apps opened faster. Machines ran cooler. Battery life stretched far beyond what most users expected. The MacBook Air didn't even need a fan anymore. And that wasn't just impressive. It was a signal. Apple wasn't trying to compete the old way. They were changing the rules. Because this wasn't just about building a faster chip. It was about building a better system. Apple controls the silicon, the hardware, and the operating system, macOS. All designed together. All optimized together. Meanwhile, companies like Intel have to build processors that work across dozens of different machines, different brands, different designs, different constraints. Apple only has to optimize for one ecosystem. And that changes everything. Now fast forward. With newer M-series chips, Apple has continued pushing efficiency, performance, and on-device processing, especially in areas like AI and machine learning. Not everything is magic. Not every task is dramatically faster, but the direction is clear. More performance per watt, less heat, more control, and that leads to a completely different user experience. So this wasn't just a chip upgrade. It was a long-term strategy finally revealed. Apple didn't beat Intel overnight. They spent a decade building something better, and then replaced them in a single move. The real silicon secret? If you control the foundation, you don't just compete in the future. You define it.